Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make these pretty macarons on a stick. I'm starting off with some egg whites, adding in a pinch of salt, and then going to beat that on high speed with a whisk for about maybe a minute or so. Once it starts foaming up, you can add in your caster sugar gradually. Then when it almost reaches stiff peaks, I like to add in my flavouring. Here I've just used some vanilla extract, and I'll have the recipe for all this in the description box below. Once it reaches stiff peaks, add in your dry ingredients, so your icing sugar and your almond meal, and sift that through. If there are larger chunks that don't want to pass through the sieve, you can just chuck that out, that's not a problem. And then using a spatula, fold it all in together. And you'll want to do so gently because you don't want to kind of beat out very much air from the egg whites. You want to try and keep that as much as you can. Then once it reaches this consistency, I like to divide it into my separate bowls. Add in my gel food colour, my powdered food colour, and then keep folding it until it reaches this consistency. Using a small circle tip, piping my little macaron shells onto their respective trays. So I've got one tray with 3 centimeters, one tray with 2.5 centimeters, and one tray with 2 centimeters. Tap it on your counter until you get those little air pockets coming through, and it also helps to flatten out the top as well. Now the reason that I've divided the sizes onto their own trays is because they each take different baking times and some baking temperatures as well. And I'll have all that in the description box below because I don't want to confuse you here. And just pop those into an oven with the fan and light on. That'll help to dry out your cookie shell so the top is nice and non-tacky. At that stage you can bake those off. Then halfway through baking I like to rotate them so that they cook evenly and also colour evenly, very important. So what was facing forward will now be facing the back of your oven. And then once they come off the paper like that and they're not leaving very much behind, that's when they're ready. In the meantime we'll make our white chocolate ganache. So I have some white chocolate and some cream, slapped in the microwave for about 30 seconds and then just combined it all. Once the ganache has set, pipe it onto your cookies, leaving about 1/4 inch away from the edge there. And then firmly pressing in your cake pop stick into the ganache. Don't press too hard because you don't want to crack the macaron shell on the other side. And then sandwich a stick in between the cookies. And you have your macaron stick pop thing. How pretty is that? And then once you let it set for at least half an hour in the fridge, you can start decorating it just so it doesn't move around. Here I've added in some gold leaf, and then I'm going in with a pretty little viola flower, adding some ganache onto the back of it to stick it in between the cookies. It looks pretty good just as is, but if you wanted to, you could also add in some butterfly wafer papers here, and they're edible too, as is the gold leaf. And that's it. How sweet is that? There's an alternative way of making a dessert on a stick that's not a cake pop. Very, very fun to make, very easy. I'll have the recipe in the description box below with all the kind of temperatures and whatnot, because as you saw, each different size of macaroon has to have a different cooking temperature and cooking time. These are little viola flowers. They are 100% edible. Having said that though, you would not want to buy them from your florist or your plant store because they've been sprayed. Try to find them at an organic florist or even at your grocer's. Like these actually sell in punnets as garnish. If you find yourself in Melbourne and you're looking for these edible flowers, there's a place called Flowerdale Farm, and they stock little stores as well. I know the closest one to me, the western suburbs, would be South Melbourne. South Melbourne Market's got a shop that stocks these flowers, although you might need to call them up and special order them, just in case not stocking it that day. But I'll leave a link in the description box below. And that's the tutorial for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this super fun tutorial, and I will catch you next time.